on to the games. Another big story today it connects to Arsenal, and it's surrounding Omar Marmoush, obviously a very talented player, very prolific individual. A few journalists have put out an article today saying that Arsenal are leading the race to get him. There could be a bid as early as this January. I reached out to those journalists and asked for an opinion. Do you think this is something that could happen? And they've said there's more possibility of that than a number of the other strikers that they've been linked to, the likes of Gyökeres, the like of Isak, etc. Kunle, from your point of view, Omar Marmoush, obviously very talented, lots of output, pacey, quick. Is that the kind of player you would like Arsenal to go and sign this January?
To be honest, I'm not going to pretend I know a lot about this player. As soon as I heard about him, I just did the usual check on YouTube. And when I look at players at YouTube, I don't look at the flicks and tricks. I look like the technique, first touch, how they take on players, how they finish chances and stuff. And he looks decent. I mean, technically, he looks better than Martinelli or Trossard on that side, which is not hard in this current season, to be fair. So, but because I've not been hearing about him a lot until just now. So I don't know if he's the player we need, but someone that could, if he's effective on that left side and he can continue this form that he started this season, it appears in. Yeah, potentially. We definitely need someone in that position because Tweedledee and Tweedledum aren't doing it this season. So we definitely need to get a better option over there. I don't know who knows more about him though. Maybe someone knows more about him.
I think he's very, very good. My only worry would be how he translates to the Prem, but that's like a really, really basic.
David, is he quick or has he just got a little acceleration? I haven't figured that out. Is he actually fast?
He's not. I wouldn't say he's like a pace man, but he's not slow. He's got the ability to take someone a bit like Willian. Willian's not slow, but you wouldn't say Willian was quick. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay. He's like in that range where he can like.
Is he like
his acceleration is quite good. Like over a short period, he's quite good, but I wouldn't say he's like beating someone in a 100-meter race. It's a different type of.
It's his output though.
But his output is out of this world.
Yeah,
this season though.
The reason why I bring up the translation
and last season he was good as well, Frankfurt.
The reason why I bring up the translation though, is because everyone always talks about Bundesliga and how apparently it's a terrible league and how you just get free shots every now and again. So if we're gonna level at everyone, it's got to be leveled at this guy as well. That'd be my only thing. But from what I've seen, he's a pretty good player.
He's the most realistic though, surely, because Isak's not going to leave this January, and if he did, it would be probably 120, 130, 140 million. Then you look like Rashford's going to come in at 28 on 300k a week. You've also got Dani Olmo, who wants to stay at Barcelona, but I think it'd be a great signing for you or Liverpool. But Omar's a bit of a question mark because unless you die hard watch the Bundesliga, no one really knows what he's like. But then you look at the number side of things, and he ticks all the boxes. He can play anywhere in the front three. He can play as a false nine. He can play out wide, and his output is better than any player in the league right now, other than Salah's. He's got 30 GA already this season. So when you look at it like that, like for 30 million euros according to reports, what's that? 24, 25 million pound?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, Henry. If we can get him and another level raiser,
well.
Yeah, he's the other guy. Like we need the level raiser. I'm not saying he's not going to be a good player, but 30 million is not the type of money I'm looking to spend on the player that could potentially be filling in for Saka and potentially scoring the goals as a number 9. So I think, he's a player you sign and someone.
Definitely not a 9. He's definitely not a 9.
Exactly.
But who have they got now that's really a 9? Like Kai Havertz is not really an out 9.
We don't have a registered 9 at our club, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Like he primarily plays like down the middle. I've only watched him probably like 2 times.
Doesn't he do his best work on the left though? I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong.
But he does look like a very good player. But the thing is, it's going to be a very expensive deal. I think like somebody said, like 30 million. He's not going for that low. Like a lot of clubs are linked to him. Like, and I know that Terry said that that a couple of reporters that he's spoken to have said that Arsenal look like the team that's in pole position, but it's going to be a very expensive deal to get done.
No, but what prices have been quoted already, Will? Do you know? Have you heard any prices that have been quoted about him? I haven't heard any. So
nah,
one of the reports said 30 million euros, but I don't know how reliable that is.
Yeah, so I saw
more than that. Sure. Unless you've got a buyout clause, it's surely going to be more expensive than that.
Yeah, because I've seen a few things about like his market value being around like 60 M's, and it's the January window. And Frankfurt, I believe they're in the top 4 in the Bundesliga right now, and it's in large part because of him. Like, so 30 M's, I think that'd be a fantastic deal if Arsenal were able to get him for that price. But I think it would be a hard deal to get done. But they should do it. They like Arsenal need to sign somebody. Like, this should have been a signing that maybe you guys made in the summer window, right? But you didn't. Now with the Saka injury, I think that they should spend big in January on an attacker. I think that he could possibly be the guy that is able to hold down your attack, and maybe you can let Saka rest more versus possibly bringing him back a little earlier. I think it'd be a good piece of
the report on the report here from on Give Me Sports states that Frankfurt will hold out for up to £50 million for their 25-year-old talisman. Look, again, £50 million, and this is what you got to weigh up, right? And I'm not making this is more of a, it's not really a statement, but if Isak is 150 million now or in the summer, which I think is what Newcastle are quoting, right, Phil? 150 mil.
Damn.
Is he again? This is what you got to ask it. Is he 3 times better? And is he, okay, not that's probably. Is he going to give you 3 times the output that Omar Mamouche is going to give you? That's what Arsenal have to weigh up in that deal. And what I mean by that is for that 150 mil, if you can bring in an Omar Mamouche that starts scoring lots of goals, and then you could also bring in a Nico Williams. I'm using it. I know he wants to go Barca, but look at the financial problems. Let's not act like it's a nailed on deal. If you could probably bring them both in for less money than Isak, and I would argue Omar Mamouche and Nico Williams, as an example, will make Arsenal better than just Alexander Isak. So I think that you have to sometimes, as fans, weigh up how much money you're spending and on who else. Now, if you've got the money for Isak, maybe that's the better. What they shouldn't do is 50 million on Omar Mamouche and then go, we're not buying anybody else in the attack. Now, that's where, as an Arsenal fan, you'd be fuming. I think you've got to weigh this up, though. And I think Isak's amazing. I think he's a brilliant talent. But is he going to get you 3 times the amount of goals? Someone like the one thing he has got is more Prem proven, as an example. So you know he can do it in the Premier League. There is that risk with Omar Mamouche. But if I had £150 million and I'm an Arsenal fan, I'd much rather go and get Omar Mamouche and say Nico Williams than spend it all on Isak personally. So I don't see it as a bad deal. And then maybe Dan will think that Arsenal have a better squad than Chelsea. We don't know. Maybe that will happen at that point. But yeah, I mean, it's a decent link. The link to a lot of people though, Arsenal. But I feel like Arsenal being used a bit this window. It seems like agent after agent is connecting their player. Today, I think it was PSG have offered Arsenal the chance to sign that Mawani for 77 million, by the way.
Every window, bro.
Who's going to part with 77 million for him? Who?
Mawani and Saliba back in the same team.
You can't have him and Saliba in the same room either, brother. That can't happen. That has got to stop. But
now, we're Arsenal fans. I think we're gold for the transfer window because we buy it on everything. As soon as one player gets linked, we start sending tweets and quotes and doing compilations. So we're amazing during the transfer window period. I mean, we're links FC during the transfer. Who knows if we might even just end up getting a loan from the Belgium league at the end of it. Like that'd be such an Arsenal thing to do. But we need at least 2 signings if any Arsenal fan is going to say after the January window we are part of a title race. We need at least.
What? Wait, whoa! Slow your roll. Wait. Sorry.
Well, we're in January now. You can start asking me these questions.
Wait. Sorry, I'm baffled. Wait, hang on. I've sat here for weeks with people trying to force my team into, and you're only just, and if you don't sign 2 people, you're not in it. Now we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Hey,
we're not doing that.
On the terrace, anything can happen. But me personally, unless we sign 2 players, we're not part of no.
In phase 8, you can't be waiting.
I don't do the phase thing, man. Go and win the league in your first season. I don't believe in all that phase rubbish, man. But yeah, like I think we need 2 signings to
I agree.
Try and prevent Liverpool from winning.
You need a midfielder. You need a striker. An actual striker.
Do you think the Cronkies will give him a lot? Like, what are these 2 signings? Let's say you bring in Omar for, let's say, hypothetically 50 million. Mm-hmm. Do you think you'll bring in someone else for that sort of fee as well?
I honestly think that you guys.
Nah, I think we definitely go big on someone. I think obviously because of Saka injury
this January, you
this
think,
January. I
That ain't
reckon
gonna be
because of
Isak, there's no
Edu
way.
leaving and Saka's injury has kind of backed them into the corner. I think we'll go big on one, which is why I don't think we'll buy this Marmoush guy. I think we'll go big. I don't know. I'm probably hoping and praying more than I actually think, to be fair. But yeah, I think because of the Edu situation and the Saka situation, we go big. I can see us spending 80+ million on a player this January.
Who's that going to be though? Nico Williams?
I know who I want it to be, but because of Bowen's injury, I don't know if that's going to happen now. But I wanted it to be Kudus personally, but I don't see that happening now, man. I don't know.
Yeah, but if you bring in Kudus,
yeah,
I still don't think you're better than Liverpool.
I think we are.
Nah.
Personally.
No way. Their front line is miles better than yours. They've got Gakpo on double digits. They've got Nunes will probably get double digits. They've got Salah, who's the best player in the world right now. They've got Luis Diaz, who's on double digits. And they've got Jota now back from injury. Other than Saka, who's getting double digits? Because Trossard and Martinelli probably won't even get combined.
Jesus is hitting double digits.
What are we doing?
As long as he can stay fit, he'll hit double digits, mate.
But we know when we get to the end of February, his knee's going again.
I'll be more excited about looking the fact that Saka's not available. We need that game changer in our starting lineup. And I if it's Kudus, Jesus and Trossard in the front three or whatever, I'm a lot more confident about that than not doing anything about like having to rely on Wanyeri for the next few months or whatever. So I think we need like I don't want Mbeumo. I don't think he's good enough. I only would take an Mbeumo if we're getting like a top quality 9 as well. But I think we need a big signing and another signing, and these 2 signings this January window first.
Would you be happy if Vlahovic come in?
Yeah, I would be. For the sheer fact that he's an actual 9, and we create a load of chances, I believe he'll score a lot of goals for us.
There's some comments here regarding that. First one from Josh says, Arsenal ain't spending shit, keep dreaming. And Tyrone says, stop the cap. What world-class players have you signed recently?
Declan Rice.
There you go.
I wouldn't say that Declan Rice was world-class at West Ham.
Yeah,
very good player, but not like world-class.
You're reaching there.
100 mil.
Yeah, you guys have made some players.
You have to reach, bro.
Well, I think Arsenal have made their world-class players, but they haven't bought them. Like Saka, world-class.
We don't buy them, we make them. Whose statement was that? Who said that statement? We don't buy world-class players, we make them. Who was that? Who made that statement? One manager. I can't remember.
That Klopp ages ago.
Probably Klopp.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Klopp.
That
you're right. Rice isn't world-class. I was capping, guys. Sorry. Forgive me.
Benjamin here says, Terry, Marmoush struggled at Stuttgart on loan. They made fun of him in Germany. Marmoush is like Anthony.
Yeah, I'm looking. What Anthony? Oh, Anthony, Man United Anthony. Okay, sorry, I thought my Newcastle Anthony. Because I'm looking at his stats. They're not overly impressive. I mean, this year, yeah, but like previous, he's 25 years old now. This seems to be like more of a hot streak here at the moment for him. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I think David knows a little bit more about him, but
he's already beat his tally from last season in January. So that's rare.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a hot streak. Like it's not.
If you look at his numbers in terms of like his underlying numbers, lot of 90s, lot of green bars, lot of green text.
Okay.
So the thing is, like,
abundant numbers. I need a Bundesliga guy to tell me, man.
The problem is the Bundesliga. The one thing I will say is that in the Bundesliga, you get a lot more opportunity to play a lot more open one-on-one football. And when you go from that to playing for an elite Premier League side, how well does it transfer over? You can be Haaland, and that's great, but you can also be Timo Werner. So it's like,
I think that reflects.
I don't know about the numbers because like I don't think like the underlying stats and all that stuff. But he passes the eye test, and I like to go off the eye test more than the stats because stats to me could be subjective. I don't get what some of those mean. Like,
the eye test is subjective. Like,
I was going to say,
no. What I'm saying is stats that I don't understand. So, for example, like I don't even know like which one to use, but like when people use stats and say, oh, like this bar is green or like it was red and stuff, like to me, I'm like, well, like what necessarily determines that? So yes, the eye test is subjective, but I don't think it's that subjective in terms of we can all watch a certain player, and I think everybody that watches football, a majority of people would say, yeah, that guy looks like a good player.
People
versus just
disagree all the
relying on
time.
just stats.
No, that's not a thing like that.
They just said Declan Rice is world class.
But I took it back. I took it back, Phil. I took it back. I took it back. To be fair.
I
took it back.
And we
I
all
definitely didn't mean I took it back.
And he said, no, if he really believed in it, he would say, nah, he's world class. But he didn't. And I think you can merge the two, eye test and stats. You got, because you can forget what you see. Like someone does some pretty tricks and flicks, and wow, he dribbled this past that person. You need to be able to see how consistent. Like Grealish looks amazing. Like I think he's a very pretty footballer. But then the one stat everybody says is for the past year he hasn't scored one goal. That stats are really important. I don't care how beautiful he looks when he plays football. So I think you can merge both of these things together.